Aloha, it's Dave Lawrence. Thank you for being here. Today I am joined by a world-class guest, one of the single most important musicians ever and a legend in American music. His history is rich and riveting. He's not just a Grammy Award winner, he's a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award winner. Best of all, for those of us living in Hawaii, he's returning to perform, I believe for the first time since opening the Chanel store in Waikiki with a surprise Friday night concert in the rain at the intersection of Saratoga and Kalakaua in December 2002. On January 23rd, he plays the much drier Blaisdell Arena here in Honolulu, and it's an honor to welcome the legendary Reverend Al Green. Aloha, Reverend Al.
Dave, aloha, aloha, how are you doing?
We are thrilled to be welcoming you to town. It's a pleasure to get to speak with you. Thank you very much for taking some time for me. And
it's my pleasure, man, my pleasure.
Before we go on, I guess I have to acknowledge Willie Mitchell, the producer, arranger, the visionary, who did so much for your career, and wanted to
absolutely
see if you could say a few words about him.
Oh, he was my dad, he was my brother, he was my mentor, he was my producer, he was my friend. I've been knowing Willie Mitchell for 30 years. I mean, like, he was just a part of the family. I mean, we used to all go over to Willie's house on Christmas. Everybody would go to Willie's house. Al Green, Ann Peebles, the Temptations, Billy Preston, all these people would show up at Willie's house, and Willie couldn't cook a darn thing. Barbara cooked everything, but she cooked for all of us. Temptations, all of us. She would just cook, and it was just fantastic. That's the type of guy he is, I'm trying to say, yeah.
A very giving person. What's your fondest memory of working with him in the studio on so many of your great recordings?
My fondest memory would be trying to sing Let's Stay Together, but I was trying to sing it in a Wilson Pickett style. I'm gonna wait till the midnight hour. And Willie said, no. I said, what's the matter? He said, you got to sing it like Al. And I'm going like, I don't know how Al sings. He said, well, Al is cool. I said, he is? He said, yeah. I mean, don't you know yourself? Al is cool. I said, oh, okay. He said, now run it back again. I said, well, I'm so in love with you. Whatever you want to do is all right with me. He said, now that's Al right there. Now keep that right there.
He really helped you find your own voice in many ways, true?
Look, Dave, that's the man that says, hey, that's you right there.
Right.
You know, there's no point trying to sing, because I was trying to sing like Jackie Wilson, James Brown, Wilson Pickett, Sam Cooke. I was trying to say, he said, no, you gotta discover your own. Those guys, they already have their own stage. They got their own land. They got their own claim to whatever they do.
Right.
You gotta make yours, and you gotta be original. And I want to do songs, but I want to make them, well, I don't know if I can say what Willie said on the radio, but I want to make them butt kickers. I said, butt kickers? He said, yeah. They going to sound, I want you to make it sound easy, but actually it's really hard.
Sure.
And that's the way it is, because last night the show kicked my behind.
He had a very nurturing effect on you, and that would be a great way of summing it up.
It really would be.
It's impressive. And speaking of last night, I actually have been on YouTube and seen some footage from last night. You are in top form, I must say. Looked impressive there in Sydney at the State Theater, I guess it was.
It was a bomb, man. It was the bomb. It is amazing how YouTube gets the stuff before I get it.
It really changes everything.
I got a CD of it, but I hadn't played it yet. And YouTube has already got it on the cotton picking tube.
It's such a game changer, huh? Everyone now, you go to a concert, it's instead of trying to prevent bootlegging, it's very hard because everyone there really is able to document the show so readily, either video, they can take pictures, audio if they want.
Yeah, I mean, one of the band members, Dave Stewart, the saxophonist, has a laptop that has a recorder built right into it. And he had the rehearsal for going to Australia and New Zealand and Honolulu. The rehearsal was on YouTube before we left. And I'm going like, what is, how did they get, how did, so, and so Dave said, well, Reverend, you see, I had the camera rolling when we were doing the rehearsal, and I think they got a little bit of it. So, I mean, they were playing the rehearsal before we even got here. So, yeah.
Well, it keeps everyone fresh with what's happening. And you mentioned your arrival here in the islands, and by way of my introduction, I did too. Do you am I accurate in saying your last appearance here was, in fact, that gig in December of 2002 when you did the show in the street in Waikiki?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I have to tell you,
we had a great time.
I know you did. That was one of, in my 8 years of living here in the islands since moving from Boston, of all the shows I've seen, from Aloha Stadium to Pipeline Cafe to the Waikiki Shell to the Mac on Maui, wherever it's been, your show stands at the very top of everything I've seen. It was the most soulful show. It was told to me the day before at 10 o'clock at night on Thursday, hey, Al Green's playing tomorrow. No one knows about it. It's a free show. They're opening the new Chanel right in the middle of the street in Waikiki. And it was just one of the greatest concerts. And any memories that you would have of that, I would love to hear.
Well, the Hawaii Philharmonic Orchestra played, and they have on these black suits, white shirts, bow tie, and they were like standing over to the right over here, and all the group that came to the show, they was like standing over to the left over here. I said, this is not going to work. I want all the orchestra, the Philharmonic Orchestra, to come up front. And they came up front. I said, now I want all the people that come from the visitors to Hawaii, the tourists, all the people from New Jersey, from Texas, from all y'all just come and filter right on in. And that's what I liked about the show, because once I got doing the music, everybody saying, well, the times are good or bad, happy, yes, sad. That's what I remember about it. It was great because there was unity. The music made it unity because it crosses all boundaries, I think.
That's such a great memory. You know, I recently I had the great pleasure of speaking with Arian Love of the Stylistics, who recalled, in our interview, he recalled playing at the same arena that you're about to play at on January 23rd. He played there with you in 1972 when it was called the HIC. Do you remember those sorts of memories?
Yeah, man, that was the Stylistics. Well, I mean, it's just great because I think that's a fantastic group, and I do one verse of one of their songs in the show, and it's just fantastic, And I enjoyed working with them.
They remember that very fondly, playing here with you when they were talking about their Honolulu history. Are there any other particular memories of our state, favorite Hawaii memories, while we're talking about it, that come to your mind? Something that really means a lot to you over your vast history?
Well, I mean, this time I want to get out and see a little bit more of the island, because when I came to it the last time, we were in the middle of a concert section, a concert season, see? And so we didn't have time. We just only come off the plane, we go straight to the hotel, and they make you go to sleep because the show is at 7 o'clock tonight. So, I really didn't get a chance to see too much. Except for down in the Waikiki Hotel there, went down and bought jewelry, which was a little bit expensive, but They they had to call Detroit and say, "Are you sure this is Al Green now?" I said, "Yes, of course it is. You know, of course it is." So it was great. I mean, they sent a girl with me from Honolulu all the way to Los Angeles to get the certificate paid on the card that I put the jewelry on. And they said, "We'll fly back. You just make sure that you're Al Green." I said, "I'm Al, trust me." And I signed the certificate, and she got back on the next plane for Honolulu. And, I mean, it's just crazy, man, but that's just the way it is, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I think it's fantastic.
Well, we're looking forward to you performing here again. I think it's a lifetime of music that you've really brought the world. When you think about it, and the story going all the way back to when you were a little boy and you were quote-unquote fired for listening to Jackie Wilson by your father. Can you take us to that critical moment? Because really, when you think about how well-known you are and how many years later it is and how established you've become, if you would retell that a bit, it seems like such a pivotal moment in Al Green's life.
Well, I mean, I was singing in a gospel group. And gospel groups are much harder to build than it is rock and roll and R&B groups. And when I did get fired, I went through the alley, behind the house, through the alleyway, over to the next street, and a friend of mine lived over there named Lee Burgess. And he is the one that had... him and Palmer James and Curtis Rogers had the group called the Soulmates, and Al Green and the Creations and all that. And that's where Backup Train came from, and that introduced me right there to the guys in Battle Creek, which was Junior Walker and the All-Stars. That thing, shotgun, da-da, shooting for him, da-da, all that stuff. And, you know, I did a lot of my Chitlin circuit in Dublin, Ireland, and Great Britain, and all those pubs, and, oh, my God, it worked the living...
daylights out of you.
Yeah, they work your pants off. But, you know, that was before I didn't have any name or nothing, so I do the let's go to the hop thing with the school kids around 7 o'clock at night. Then at 10 o'clock the same night, the bar opens, so you got to do that. So that's 2 shows right there. And then after the bar closed, they got an after-hour joint you got to go to at 3 or 4 in the morning and work till 6 o'clock. And I'd come home by 7, I'd be pooped.
Amazing. The amount of musical time that you spent developing your craft, really. That's what it comes down to.
Well, actually, it really does, because to get the Lifetime Achievement from the Grammys like that, and BMI and all those people, and to get the other 2 Grammys that we got the other day for the stuff that Willie did.
Right.
Which makes it 11-9 instead of 9, 10, 11. Yeah, it makes it 11. So, you know, I mean, I've been blessed. It's not that I could sing so good or bad. I've been blessed. There's a lot of guys started singing, you know, when we did. I mean, even Luther Vandross, you know, and Billy Preston, David Ruffin. I used to live in the same building with David in Detroit. Eddie Kendricks. I used to know Eddie Kendricks, you know. I mean, a lot of those guys are going on, you know, and the only thing you can do is try to learn from the experiences other people have had, Dave, and that's all we can kind of like do. We just have to keep trying to learn and not to burn the candle. Like my mom say, don't burn the candle so bright, Al. Turn it down some a little bit, and just go by this little light of mine. Don't blaze the candle up. Don't all the wax up, and you'll be out of time.
Wow, that is great advice, though. That's all the way from your mom.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and the guys in Britain the other day I did the interview says Al Green makes baby making music, and I'm going like, huh? And I mean, really, the songs make you fall in love. They make you make up when there's something going wrong and y'all disagree with it. Turn around and make up, you know, and all these things. And so the guy says, I have 3 kids. How many you got, Al? I said, I got 4. He said, see there, I told you.
Baby making music.
That's Great Britain for you, isn't it?
It is.
They would be the one to come up with something like that.
Exactly, yes.
He makes baby making music. And when we did the Royal Albert Hall, I mean, it was packed. The Rolling Stones were there. I mean, it was packed, and everybody just took the thought of baby making music just like it's love. It's not really, it's love. It's love songs. It's about love. It's, you know, I mean, God is love himself. You know, so it's, you know, if God made all this, it must be pretty good.
That's a good way of looking at it. It's certainly.
Dave.
Yeah, I know.
Well, Mr. Lawrence, I will not keep you any longer. I know you got a full day ahead of you. I want to thank you so much for your time and for your call. And, you know, is it possible when we do the show over there, can you come backstage and we can take a picture together?
If you would allow it, I would really like it. I was hoping that I could get to say hi to you when you come to town, and I appreciate it very much.
Take care, Dave.
I'll look forward to seeing you at the
See
show.
you when you get there.
Thank you. Travel safe.
All right, bye-bye.
Aloha.
Okay, Dave. Bye-bye. Aloha. This is Al Green, and you're listening to the only show that matters with Dave Lawrence.